So Summer Games Fest is right around the corner, and the Monster Hunter devs have promised to show us a brand new trailer in which they will debut a new monster. It goes without saying that fans are excited to see another trailer for Wilds only a week after the first. Naturally, this excitement brings about a lot of speculation from fans. Of all the things people speculate on, the most common idea is that the monster that they will reveal in this next trailer will be the flagship monster for Wilds. Now, I'm not going to tell you that you're 100% without a doubt wrong, because I don't know the answer for sure. But in my opinion, it's very unlikely that the monster they will reveal is the flagship. Instead, the monster that they will reveal is this guy right here. I'm sure many of you have noticed this monster too, and he's been pointed out by other YouTubers as well. But I think there are a bunch of good reasons why this is the monster we will get a better look at and not the flagship. First of all, I think it's way too early in development for them to show the flagship monster. If you look at the release trailers for Monster Hunter World, the first trailer showed 3 large monsters, those being Anjanath, Rathalos, and Great Jagras. This was the reveal trailer for Monster Hunter World, and it came around 7 months before the game's launch. Another thing that also came along with the trailer was a release window for World. So not a concrete release date, and this is an important detail. At this point in time, Monster Hunter World had less than 7 months left, and this was all they were willing to show in the trailer: 3 large monsters and 1 locale. You can correct me if I'm wrong here, but by looking at the Monster Hunter channel's videos in chronological order, the flagship monster for World, Nergigante, was first revealed at the September 2017's Tokyo Game Show, along with the release date of the game too. This was 4 months before the game would come out. So Capcom were not ready to commit to a date or to reveal the flagship monster for World until 4 months before the game would release. And I don't see why this would be any different for Wilds. In the developer's message, Ryozo Tsujimoto states that the team is still deep in the development phase. And I know I'm reading into his tone here as an English speaker, but it really felt to me like he wanted to put emphasis on it, that the game still has a ways to go before it is complete. This is further underlined by him stating that the team took a bit of time out of their very busy schedules to record this message for the fans, and making a point to state that they need to get back to work. Now, you can ask me, why am I comparing the dates in trailers against Monster Hunter World and not Rise? And the answer to that question is that both Wilds and World are mainline titles. They're the generational leap between Monster Hunter titles, and the devs have done everything to highlight Monster Hunter World lately. In my eyes, this makes World's promotional timeline more relevant than Rise in this scenario. Now, the next reason why I believe that this is the monster they are revealing is because I don't think that Capcom ever intended to release this trailer at the most recent state of play in the first place. I believe that this has to do with a bit of game industry politics. Once again, I'm just speculating here, but Capcom probably have a good relationship that they feel the need to maintain with Sony. It's possible that they were preparing the trailer for the Summer Games Fest, and Sony asked them to show something at their state of play first, and so they changed it up a bit and removed some content from what would have been the first trailer for Wilds. Not only is it a bit uncharacteristic for the team in general to release 2 trailers a week apart, it's just kinda strange in general for any game, really. Normally, if this truly marks the start of the promotional period for Monster Hunter Wilds, I would expect them to release a new trailer every 1 to 2 months like they have done in the past. It's not like we're gonna get a trailer every week from now up until Wilds comes out. So most likely, the trailer we will see at Summer Games Fest is going to be a similar version of the State of Play trailer with restored cut content and some other minor additions and retweaks. And if that's the case, we will see some gameplay footage of this guy here, and he's definitely not the flagship because the Doshaguma literally just chucks him off. I expect Doshaguma to be on a similar threat level to Barroth or Anjanath, maybe a bit weaker, and so there's no way in hell that the flagship monster of Wilds gets tossed off a low tier monster like that. Now, I hope I'm wrong about this, and if I end up being wrong, feel free to tell me just how wrong I was, but I'm not doing this video to spoil your fun. I'm just saying that I think it's wise to temper your expectations. If we temper our expectations, we avoid disappointment. Save them for the next trailer instead, because I think it's much more likely that the flagship will be shown a couple of months from now, with a handful of new and old monsters too. Now, can we expect to get a release date at Summer Games Fest? Once again, my opinion is no. However, we're in with a better chance to get a release window like spring 2025, but that is still not guaranteed. The Monster Hunter dev team usually do have a 6-month-ish promo period for their releases, where they produce trailers regularly with a trickle of information in between them too, and considering that they're releasing these 2 trailers back to back, I would be surprised if this didn't indicate the start of the promo period for Wilds. The only 2 things that give me pause are the developers' emphasis on how they are still deep in development and the fact that we still don't have a release window yet, whereas with recent past titles, if the game was around 8 months away, we would have seen a release window by now. And if we look at when release dates were revealed for World, Iceborne and Sunbreak, they've all had their release dates announced approximately 4 months before launch. Rise is an outlier in this regard. I think they announced the release date for it from the very first trailer. But anyways, Wilds is definitely not gonna come out in 4 months because it's slated for 2025. And it's not clear that we'll get a release window this Friday either, but it's much more likely. So I would suggest to be fairly hopeful for a release window, but not too hopeful, and not to expect a release date. So in that case, what else can we expect to be revealed from the devs at the Summer Games Festival? I don't think there will be much more footage of other weapons, at least not in great detail, and I don't think they will show a new locale. I believe that the trailer will be a remix of what's been already shown, but with a larger emphasis on the new monster that they're revealing, and perhaps a bit more greatsword and bowgun footage, and some other hunter or secret actions. Maybe some more NPC cutscene bits here and there. Now, where I do think there is potential to get more information is from the developers themselves, who will be on stage and they will get asked questions by Geoff Keighley. My hope is that the developers can elucidate us on burning questions such as whether the game is open or semi-open world or not, and perhaps we can come out with a clearer understanding of the new focus mode, because at the moment the description is very vague. Now, I want to talk about what else I'd like to see, not what I expect to see, but what would be a pleasant surprise. I think it would be cool if they had some footage of a hunt, even if it was fairly short and with a rigid script. That way we'd get a better look at the Windward Plains and truly get a better sense of the locale's scale and see one of the new monsters in action properly. And lastly, I think this is unlikely, but it would be cool if they also at least teased the return of an old monster, hopefully one that we haven't seen in the 5th generation. So any monsters from the 4th generation or below that haven't been in the 5th generation, that would be great to see. So yeah, the reason why I made this video is because I see that Wilds is generating so much excitement from the fans, and a lot of people can get really carried away and get overhyped, and I'm not trying to police how you should feel in any way. I just know that in the past, whenever I let my hype get out of control, I would end up speculating so much wild stuff in anticipation of whatever content I was looking forward to, whether it was just a trailer or a video game, to the point that it would be impossible for that content to deliver on my unrealistic expectations. And that would result in me enjoying said content less than I normally would. And it really sucks that we can do that to ourselves, especially when it comes to things we really like. To be clear, I'm not telling you not to be excited about Wilds. I'm sure we're all very excited about Wilds. I'm just suggesting not to expect the Summer Games Fest trailer in particular to reveal everything you've ever wished for in your wildest dreams, and instead to have more reasonable expectations so that you can actually give yourself a chance to be pleasantly surprised. But please, tell me if you think I'm wrong in the comment section, and tell me what new reveals you expect from the upcoming trailer and from the devs themselves. Other than that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.